I was cleaning the Lizzie room today, and I thought I might like to share some of the things I've picked up over the years with you. It's no fun having things and not showing them to like-minded souls. I have a little shadow box that I keep some things that really can't be framed. This is I guess you'd call it a brochure, maybe, that Robert Doobie had printed when, for a time, Maplecroft was a bed and breakfast. I think this would be back in the early 90s. And it's a nice line drawing of the house. And on the back, directions to French Street. I never throw a scrap away. It might be a collectible someday. And speaking of Maplecroft, I was walking down the street in 1991, the year before the centennial, and Maplecroft had gotten a re-siding. This is one of the shingles that was thrown out on the street, literally, all over the lawn, and I stooped over to pick it up. What's interesting about it is it has a slate gray paint, and we do know that Lizzie did have Maplecroft painted that shade, so I'd like to think that this might have been maybe the paint color she chose. No way of knowing for sure, but I do know it is a Maplecroft shingle. And around 2000, I think it was 2005, when 2nd Street changed hands, the old Leary press was knocked down, and once again, bits and scraps of the house were all over the street and being carted away. You'll see this is rather pink looking because the McGinn family had painted 2nd Street a light tan. I'm not sure of what year that was. It was that color when I went to work there in 1998, and was that shade for quite a while before it was painted the current shade of green with a drab shutter. So I have a couple of scraps of that, and this little cup here, you might remember the Terry family, Lizzie's chauffeur, and how she presented Ernest Terry Jr. with this lovely little Royal Beirut tea set. And I found just the cup on eBay. This is the Jack and the Beanstalk pattern. This is not Ernest Terry's little cup, but one like it. And I found out that Royal Beirut is very, very collectible and quite expensive. This little cup was sort of an investment. I bought an autograph book of just different 1890s autographs, and I ran across George Robinson, Lizzie's defense attorney at her trial in New Bedford. There are some other politician autographs that were also in the same book. I'm pretty sure I didn't pay very much for it. They probably didn't know who George D. Robinson was. Same thing happened in another autograph book where I found Nance or Nancy. I'm not exactly sure. I've heard both. I'm going to go with Nancy O'Neill. And I was very excited to find this one. I'm not sure what that first word is. I would say sincerely. That's an odd way to make an S. I think that's what it is. There's nothing on the back. Here's an early postcard from 2nd Street when it first became a bed and breakfast. And during the centennial, the Fall River Historical Society put out a lovely little stationery packet, and everything was numbered. It came with a sheet of paper that had this little pansy brooch Lizzie portrait on it, and I still have a lot of that. Also, during the centennial, the Historical Society issued a number of glass paperweights with a felt backing, I particularly like the one of Abby Borden and Lizzie. There's the dates of her life. And this one is a crime scene photo of Andrew Borden on the sofa. So that's my little collectible box, and maybe you'll share pictures of your collection. Folks tend to find little hatchets and axes and give me, and I have a little collection of those as well. One thing, if you see it on eBay, grab it. The Lizzie Borden Quarterly is full of information, and of course you can't get these anymore, but if you can find some of them, sometimes on eBay or places like that, or flea markets, you want to grab them. I'm not exactly sure. I think they started for the centennial. Here's one from January 1993, and you'll recognize some of the articles and names. Robert Flynn, who republished some of the vintage books on the Borden case. Leonard Ribello, Judy Curry, Bill Pavo. Let's see. Oh, here's one by Leonard Ribello. It's excellent. It's about the painting that was hanging over the, well, it actually was sort of a copperplate etching, I think, engraving of The Village Elms by Albert Fitch Bellows. This was hanging over Andrew Borden at the time of the murder. And those aren't too difficult to find. I have one over my sofa. So be on the lookout for these. And I think that'd be our Lizzie moment for today. I have some other things I'd like to show you, and I'm really hoping you'll share your collection with us. I love to see what things you've found at flea markets and old bookstores, and I'm going to close this up for the day, and we'll see you soon.